Ready when you are, Brian.
Hey, well, welcome everybody to today's weekly webinar on the road with JMC, meeting you at a conference near you. I'm Brian Wall. I'm a client services specialist with JMC, and I am joined today from the road by two of our stars, Jake and Paul. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure
Jake, you can
thing.
go first.
I'll start us off here since Paul's in the much more extravagant location. My name's Jake Vanskoy. I'm a head of training at JMC. I've been with JMC as working with the company for about 3 years now, 4 maybe. And prior to that, I was a high school English teacher turned instructional coach. I've been working in education for, I suppose, a little over 20 years now. Paul?
And I'm Paul Freed. I've been with JMC for about 20 years. I used to be a teacher before that in the Twin Cities. I've been training at JMC for 2 decades, and I'm on site at the Minneapolis Convention Center today, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Awesome. Get back to my screen share. There we go.
While Jake's pulling that up, my background, I'm a retired administrator. I was a high school, middle school principal for 24 years in Western Iowa and began working for JMC a couple of years ago. So on our road trip here, this winter, the JMC crew's hitting the road, bringing our excitement to several trade shows across the Midwest. Don't miss your chance to connect with the team in person and discover all the fun and opportunities that lie ahead. Let's check out where you can find the JMC team. We do ask that you hold your questions, or never mind. We're just going to move right on.
There shouldn't be a lot of questions here, Brian. If you have any questions, you can use the Q&A chat feature, though.
So why visit the JMC team at a conference this winter? So Jake, Paul, what are the top 5 reasons to swing by the JMC booth?
Well, I've been doing conferences, Brian, for, 15 years, and I know people are busy. You're busy at your conference. You've got a ton of places to be. But here's why you want to stop and by and visit with our team. And I'm going to take 1, 3, and 5. Jake, you can take 2 and 4. But number 1, you get to connect with the friendliest training support team in the Midwest. Right there, you've got Jake and Brian. That's at the NEDA conference in Nebraska. But when people meet us at a conference, I don't think they ever walk away disappointed, whether they're asking a JMC question or just meeting a person, putting a face with the person that's helping them. It's just a great way to be like, okay, we're using this product. Let's put a face with the people that we're talking to. So Jake, number 2.
Number 2, the sweet JMC swag. And I have to tell you, I think we lead the industry in our swag for sure. I don't know if you can see my hat here that I've got that I'm rocking today, but kind bars, t-shirts, all sorts of fun stuff. I've got my brand new JMC hat. But yeah, so stop by, grab something to eat, grab something to chat.
And grab something for your staff too, right? If you're an administrator, a lot of times grab a couple t-shirts, bring them back to folks like, hey, I've got this great JMC swag for you. Number 3.
I get that quite a bit from administrators that pop by and say, hey, my secretary needs a shirt. She works with JMC all the time. So we love hearing that. We usually hook them up too.
For sure. Number 3, hear about some of the newest features we're rolling out. So when we go to a conference, we typically have something that we're talking about, or just even to say like, hey, what features are coming out? And we can talk about, the community messenger, new family enrollment. Those are 2 things we're going to talk about at these upcoming conferences too. But you might be like, hey, we're looking at doing discipline next year, whatever, but it gets the process going. And lots of times the folks that come to these trainings are administrators, administrative assistants, teacher leads. And I always tell those folks, you don't need to know how to do every single thing in JMC, but you need to know what JMC does so you can direct your team. So if you come and we're like, hey, we've got a couple of new things you should look at, you can go back to your team and say, hey, here's a couple of things I learned at the conference to help save you time.
Absolutely. Number 4, grab an invite to a happy hour after many of our conferences. Not all the time, not every conference, but I know Brian Wall's here and he's the king of the happy hour along with Amy Venus. So we like to have a little fun at JMC. a lot of times after these events or at these events, you might see us handing out coasters, and we're promoting a place to gather really more than anything. It's not hardcore salesy, it's not hardcore work talk when we get to these things. Mostly it's just you and your staff getting together, having a good time, having a drink, having an appetizer on us, and getting to connect outside of the JMC world a little bit.
Yep, meeting other schools and folks there as well. So I said some trade shows and conferences lend themselves to happy hours, some don't. And so you got to come and stop by our booth and see if we're going to have one. But that's one of our favorite things to do, chat with folks about all kinds of things. And number 5, that leads into chat about a JMC question you've been waiting to ask. Maybe there's something that you want to ask. Many times Jake and I and our crew know that people will come with a question, which is great. We want to answer those questions. In this particular picture, this is at NIDA, and I can't remember what school that person is from, but they came with a question, and I took that picture. Brian was answering the question. Jake was logging into their site or one of our demo sites to show them what we're doing. So talk about hands-on service, right? We're right there to show you things and to get those questions answered. So those are the top 5 reasons to swing by the JMC booth. So Brian, let's talk about the upcoming opportunities we got.
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. Coming up, we have the 2024 MREA Greater Education Summit.
Yep, so this one's quick. It's coming next week in Minnesota. Come out and visit with Paul Freed, that's me, Linda Hill and Barry Olson, that's Cragen's Resort in Brainerd, Minnesota. That's actually just a one-day event for us. It's the shortest event we have, from 5 to 7:30 at Cragen's. It's a quick time of some drinks and some food, and come and just meet us and hang out with us and meet a great crew there.
We're also going to be at the 2024 Iowa Association of School Boards annual convention, again, coming up here shortly.
Yeah, and that'll be myself, Brian, and the aforementioned Amy at the Iowa Event Center in Des Moines, November 20th through the 22nd. I believe the trade show runs the 20th and 21st, I believe, are the dates that we're going to be there. We've been going to this trade show for several years now, and they always have a happy hour that first night there right in the conference center itself. So no happy hour on JMC, but still plenty of opportunity to mill around, ask questions, chat us up. So please stop on out and see us at IASB.
The 2024 SLATE convention.
This is probably the most energetic one we have. It's in Wisconsin. So drop in to visit with myself and Sarah. And also we're going to have the former superintendent from Pepin, Wisconsin. Bruce Quinton will be there with us as well. The 3 of us, he's a new addition to the JMC team. Also, there's the keynotes of Jeanette Camacho from iTech AI and Hall Davidson from Discovery Education. It's at the Kalahari Resort in Wisconsin Dells. Always fun. And there's just a ton of educational staff there. So come and join us for that event as well. That's up here in early December.
You're going to be hitting up a water slide, Paul?
Bringing my kids along, and we are all going to be hitting up those water slides.
Awesome. Like to
take lots of pictures, Paul.
I will. Oh, yeah.
All right. The 2024 NCSA State Principals Conference.
Yep. So this is the Nebraska Council of School Administrators State Principals Conference. This is the first time we're going to this one. You can check it out in the Husker State and visit myself and Greg Appleby. Greg Appleby, a former longtime principal in the state of Nebraska. So it's at the Cornhusker Marriott in Nebraska, December 4th and 5th. Stop by and get an invitation to our happy hour. Our happy hour is actually going to be at the Marriott, the Cornhusker Marriott, from I think 8:30 or 8 to 9:30 in the lounge they have there at the hotel. So in this particular one, they have the conference has a happy hour, and then most people get dinner and they come back to the hotel maybe for a nightcap. Have a nightcap on us.
Awesome. Yeah, we were that was one that we were trying to get into last year and the year before that, and they fill up very, very quickly. So
That's right.
Excited to be attending that one this year.
Absolutely.
Then getting into the new year, the 2025 MBSA or MSBA Leadership Conference.
Yep. So this is the Minnesota School Board Association Leadership Conference. This is my favorite one of the year. stop by and say hi to myself and Sarah Freed. We're also going to have Barry Olson is going to be there, and Rachel Cox is going to be there as well. Rachel is one of our great trainers, tech support specialists. She writes our articles. It'll be her first conference that she's coming to. We've had lots of folks come here. There's over 1,000 people that attend the Minneapolis Convention Center, and that is where I am at right now. So I'm at the Minneapolis Convention Center, right downtown Minneapolis. It's probably the biggest educational conference in Minnesota. Yeah, can you see me here? Yeah, it's the biggest one in Minnesota here. And so it's a great space. A lot of people stay downtown. And then we have our happy hour. One of the ones we've been doing the longest, it is at Britt's Pub. We have the entire second floor reserved to come and get some stuff for your staff. Let us buy you a drink. It's also acts as a little bit of a fundraiser too for Donors Choose. So it's a whole bunch of things that are going on, but the conference is great. I know that school board members enjoy this. And if you're an administrator coming, bring your school board members along. They will really enjoy a really cool second floor look. It looks out across a park here in downtown Minneapolis, and it just couldn't be better. So that's where I'm at. That's why I came here today to invite you, anybody in Minnesota or to come and bring your whole crew.
Yeah, Minneapolis Convention Center there in downtown Minneapolis. It looks like a great venue. Looks like a lot of fun.
It is. Yeah, it's like there's conferences going out. It's a huge place, so it accommodates well. It's easy to get to. Most people, the hotels are within walking distance, so people will walk here, then they'll walk to our happy hour, and then they'll go get some dinner as well.
That's great. And you mentioned bring your school board members along. It's similar to the to IASB, the Iowa School Board Association. A lot of times, if you're a school board member, a brand new school board member, you've never been involved in the school board before, it's a great place to learn from other school board members in other districts to see kind of how things have are done on the other end too. So
yep,
great opportunities all the way around. Share my screen here.
And now we're into January. So the next one I think is going to be Wisconsin, but I'm not sure. Let's see here. Yes.
2025 WASB sounds like another school board state education convention.
That's right. So this is the Learning Beyond Limits Wisconsin State Education Convention 2025. You network with myself, and then Sarah Freed is going to be there again, my wife, who's on the forums team. So people a lot of times talk to her about report card questions, and Bruce Quint will be there as well. It's at the Baird Center, which is the convention center in downtown Milwaukee, January 22nd through the 24th. That Wednesday, I can't remember if it's the 22nd or 23rd, we're doing a happy hour at a new spot. We are doing it at a brand new cocktail lounge it's only 6 months old in downtown Milwaukee. And it's a block and a half from the convention center. So I'm really excited to try a new spot and get some folks there.
It's nice to see JMC growing in Wisconsin too, in the state of Wisconsin, yep, especially with private and public schools over there. So yep, should be a huge convention there as well.
Absolutely.
I feel like Bruce is going to know a lot of people at that conference, Paul.
Yeah, he is. Bruce was a principal and superintendent for 30 years. He was a principal at Wisconsin Dells School, and a lot of people come and go through Wisconsin Dells, just not educationally, and also just it's kind of at the center of the state, so he just knows a ton of folks there. So that's the cool thing too. I think that people like people. This will be my last comment about these conferences, and we like meeting you. And generally, I think people like meeting us to see who's the person on the other side of the phone or on the Google Meet. Let's talk a little bit, laugh a little bit about some crazy thing that happened at your school, or let us help you with some question you've got. And at the end of the day, we can share a beverage and say, hey, we connected, got some questions answered, got you some merch, and had a good time doing it.
Yeah, if I could just echo some statements that you just made a second ago, we live in this kind of weird semi-cyber world. The folks that I work with on a daily basis, 99% of the time it's through a screen, which is, if you were to talk to Joe Beckman, he talks about the power of human connection and, getting out to see some of those folks that I probably only converse with maybe over a Google Meet, usually through email or, a chat bot. It helps personalize that communication. And, I think it's a lot easier to talk to somebody through email after you've had the chance to converse with them in person. You get a feel for who they are as a personality. You kind of pick up on some cues and some things that you wouldn't otherwise pick up on, you know, if you're not meeting face to face. So I think that's probably my favorite thing about doing these trade shows and happy hours and connecting with folks at our summer conference too. So.
And to be honest, we have fun at our trade shows. We have fun at our conferences. Anytime we get to be with each other, it's a great time.
Absolutely. All right. So
yeah, see if there's any questions. I don't see any questions popping up there, Jake. Do you want to just bring us home? If somebody has a question, we can just run back to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not seeing any questions either, but some news and upcoming events. Our weekly webinar scheduled for November and now into December, which is kind of crazy. New JMC innovations and data collection, reporting, and more on the 20th, followed by JMC by the numbers on the 21st. Features the JMC community are thankful for on the 27th, our Thanksgiving special, our Charlie Brown special, if you will. Then we roll into December, calculating semester grades in JMC Teacher and a sneak peek at JMC's general store portal. Just got done talking about that a little bit. That sounds exciting. And then we get into our second week of December with our community messenger case study. Going to be kind of a cool thing. You know, we just rolled out our second incarnation of that community message center, and we're getting the opportunity to hear from some folks that have been using this, and they can reflect on some of their, I guess their actual uses, the application of this in a real life setting, which I think is interesting for some people to hear. So speaking of Joe Beckman, we're running a contest to get the word out about our brand new community message portal. Up for grabs is a communication strategy sesh with your team, led by the guy who literally wrote the book on human connection, Joe Beckman. My daughter's actually reading that book right now. It's called Just Look Up. Actually, it's really interesting, really good book. But you can win a session led by Joe Beckman, followed by a community bonfire. You can click that link in the PDF that's located in this YouTube description for more details. With JMC's Teacher Conference Scheduler, you can block off time slots and give families an accurate view of your availability, taking the headache out of signups. Also included, reporting on who has versus who has not attended conferences with a breakdown of percentages by teacher. You can click that link or just head over to our YouTube channel to watch that video. That's right now through March 2025. For every school you refer to JMC that signs up for our software, we'll give you each $1,000 scholarship for your district. To top it off, our team will throw a piping hot pizza party. If you have questions, reach out to sales@jmcinc.com. That's refer a friend, get $1,000 scholarship. Paul or Brian, any parting shots here?
No, just excited to see folks at the conferences. And if you, I think send folks down here. I think that we should have a little something special, Jake. If somebody sends somebody from this video, so you got some attendees here, and they say, hey, I came because of that video you did, we should have a little something special for them. And I don't know what that is. We might even have to make it up on the spot, but I will definitely reward somebody who does that.
Well, I've got a few Cold Stone gift cards for anybody that stops out at IASB and mentions this video. So
that's right. That might be me.
Absolutely. Well, Brian, I'm looking forward to getting with you here in a couple weeks at IASB. Paul, I don't know when the next time we're going to have to hang out. Sometime very soon, hopefully.
Absolutely. It's actually on my way to the Nebraska Principals Conference. I'm dropping off trade show stuff for you, so we're meeting up there.
Oh, yeah. Sweet. Awesome. Well, I'll look forward to that. Thank you for joining us for this week's weekly webinar, and we'll catch you on the flip side.